All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This video, we are looking back at week 15 of this marathon buildup. We are looking at the penultimate um, training week heading into the Santa Rosa Marathon. Um, Overall, this was an okay week. It wasn't great. It wasn't a huge confidence booster, but at the same time, nothing really was bad about it. We look at it. I ended up taking a couple days off because of how I was feeling, and that's part of what this week was all about. I had one workout that was fine. Again, nothing really stands out about it. There were some good things to pull out of it. There were some specific things about the day and the workout that made it the way it was, but we'll get to that later. And then made a long run, and it was 12 miles. It wasn't anything spectacular, but that's kind of where we're at in training. So just kind of looking back, it was the whole goal this week was to recover. The whole goal this week is, hey, we're coming off some big training. We're kind of tapering down. We're getting down and ready to race next week. And so this week was just, hey, we put the work in. Now we got to get the rest to absorb the benefit of the work. And then next week we can just fine tune, do a little tune up, and race. And that's it. So we're kind of coming down here to the end. And again, I think I mentioned this last video. A lot of people try and eke every little piece of training they can leading all the way up to race day. Physiologically, it takes time from time of workout to recovery to adaptation to benefit from adaptation to, it takes time. Like, we are at the point right now where nothing that I do is really going to make big gains physiologically. Right now, it's all about resting, recovering, doing just enough to kind of stimulate the body in a way that we don't start feeling stale and heavy. We want to kind of keep the neurological system going, so doing things like strides, mentally fine tune into things, doing some stuff at race pace, getting the mind ready of like, okay, this is the pace and effort that we want to be going. So that's kind of what this week is, and it fit the bill. It did what it was supposed to do. In the mix and like in the weeds of things during the week, there were definitely times where I was a little frustrated with myself, a little frustrated with my training, how I felt, how I thought I should feel, and things like that. But retrospectively, looking back, I think I felt the way that I should. Looking back, I think I felt how, on paper, how I laid things out, how I was meant to feel, whether that was how I thought I was meant to feel or not. It was what it was. And we'll kind of get to those day by day and how and why I changed things I did. Because this week I actually probably changed things more than I've done previously in the past. Okay. So let's go back into it. The week that was. Let's just go through day by day and see what we can pull out of this week. So Monday, nice and easy run. I was still super heavy and tired from the long run on that weekend. It was 22. It was my longest long run. It was what it was. I knew I was going to be tired, and I was tired. So nothing really to say about that. Tuesday, I took the day off because for those that don't know, I am a high school science teacher. That was our first day back to school, and one thing that a lot of people don't think about, and I think is super important to realize, is training does not live in a bubble. Your performance, how you feel in your training runs, how everything works around itself does not live in a bubble by itself. It lives within your life. And I knew that going back to school that first day, I was not going to be in a headspace to do a workout. I knew that at the end of the day, with everything going on, I was going to be exhausted, physically, emotionally, mentally, just everything. I was going to be exhausted, and it was not going to be beneficial for me to go for a workout. It was going to be more beneficial for me to come home and take a nap. Um, and again, just kind of going through like why things were the way they were. It's like, hey, we're still in this pandemic. We are, coming back to school after being online for a year. So I've got all of a sudden students that haven't been on a campus in almost a year and a half. I've got students that I had no idea how well they were going to hold to the mask mandates. I had no idea who my students were going to be. There's something about like just the vibe of a class that I could know everybody on a roster and still not know what the vibe of the class is going to be until we get in there, and just all these unknowns that were going to come out that day. Granted, now I'm a week into it and my classes are great. I love them and they're going to be awesome, and I can't wait to spend the semester teaching this group of students. But again, it was just a lot of unknowns, and my body and mind and everything at the end of the day, it was like, no, you're not running. You're taking Tuesday off. So that was that, and I think that was fine. And then also on top of that, changing sleep schedules, changing eating schedules, hydration, all that other stuff. It was just more stuff to put stress on the body. And again, that's why I was just like, you know what, we're not running that day. It wasn't for any running related reasons. It was just life, and I thought that was just the best decision that day. As the week went on, I'm slowly figuring out hydration. I'm slowly figuring out food. I'm slowly figuring out my schedule and how my sleep schedule, and just fitting it all in the order that makes the most sense and allows me to do the things that I want to do and be alert and awake and all this other stuff as we go through. So we're getting there. But Tuesday, day one, it was a long day. Wednesday, scheduled to be a workout. But again, going back to Tuesday, we took Tuesday off because of everything. Wednesday, I was like, you know what? I got home and I was like, you know what? I'm not feeling a workout today. It's just I'm tired. I'm exhausted. Back at teaching, back in schedules, changed schedules, all this other stuff. I was exhausted. So I just went out for a couple easy miles, and that's it. And what I did is I just pushed the workout from Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday rolls around, and with all of the fires that are going on in Northern California and surrounding states, Thursday, it was starting to get a little bit smoky. And so I was like, well, I need to get this workout in. It's not super smoky, but it is a little smoky. It's smoky enough that it's not unnoticeable. Okay. And so what I ended up doing is, when we're kind of in the yellow, a lot of times what I'll do is take a buff, pull it over my face after I moisten it. So a nice wet buff. I know this sounds like kind of bleh, but it works. It works just fine. Sorry, my cat just jumped on the table and causing havoc. But anyways, threw that on for the workout. Was it ideal? No, but for the circumstances, for the smoke, it was the best thing that I could do at the time. And so threw the mask on, went out, and all it was nothing. There was no barn burner. It wasn't super extravagant. It was just a quick fartlek. 4 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 sets. Started off at marathon pace, worked down to half marathon pace, and then down to 10K pace. I actually felt like I was able to lock into marathon pace pretty well. On those 4-minute reps at marathon effort, I was, the first 30 seconds or so, took me a little bit to kind of find that, but for the next 3.5 minutes, I locked in. And actually, I kind of locked in so much that my wife was doing the workout with me, and there was like a point where I just kind of zoned out and just was there in the moment and locked in. And she was like, hey, like, time's up, time's up. I'm like, oh, right, yeah. So yeah, that felt really good. Half marathon pace felt fine. And then 10K pace, again, because I've been tired and everything, 10K pace was a little bit of a struggle to kind of hit the way that I typically would. But it is what it is. Like I said, this week is all about recovery, and so if I don't feel great at all this week, that's fine. I back off and I do what I need to do, because this week, not a big deal. Nothing matters this week. Next week is really where we got to feel on and ready to go. So Thursday, Friday rolls around, and again, just like Tuesday, full week, first, big week with students. I was exhausted, and I said, you know what? We're not running today. It wasn't planned. I was only planning on taking the one day off. I was planning on hitting some mileage, and since taking another day off, it just wasn't in the books. It just wasn't the thing to do. So I took Friday off, and that's fine, because again, rest, recover, recoup, feel good heading into next week, the big week, the big enchilada. So I took Friday off. Saturday was a little bit of a long run. And actually, this was probably the run workout thing of the week that made me feel the best about where I'm at right now, heading into the marathon. Again, there's nothing that I'm going to get out of a long run this close into the race, but I did want to kind of have a long-ish run, just to kind of have a little bit of endurance stimulus heading into the race. And the thing that made it feel the best was I started off the run, and this is not like anything against my wife, but we started off the run, and I was running with her, and she was running at her pace, and it was slower than I kind of really wanted to go that day. And so I kind of started picking up, and it was actually something I found out was the more I was picking it up, the better I felt, the smoother I felt. And again, I just wanted to go at a nice, relaxed, comfortable pace, nowhere near marathon effort, nowhere near marathon pace, like 7:15 pace. And next thing I knew it, I looked at my watch and I was running at like 6-minute pace. And it felt smooth. It felt really smooth, actually. And that made me feel good. And that made me feel excited about the race. And then a couple easy miles on Sunday, and that was it. So that's the week. So let's kind of go big three, the good, the bad, and big goal for next week. The good, I think I did as much as I could to recover. The goal of the week was to recover and feel good going into next week. I may not have felt great this week, but I did a lot of stuff by the end of the week. I feel like I have recovered pretty well from that big, massive training week that I had the 2 weeks before that. Big long runs, big workouts, big mileage, all that stuff. The last 2 weeks to this week was all about rest, recover, feel good going into next week. Because I'm feeling way better now than I did on Monday. So hopefully we continue this trend and feel even better. If I can feel the difference between Monday and today, if I can have that difference between today and race day, I'll be stoked. I'll be ready to go. Okay. Still don't feel amazing. Still do not feel great today, but I feel way better than I did at the beginning of the week. So that was the good. The bad, I just didn't feel great all week. It took literally all week to fully recover and start feeling decent heading into the race, or heading into this race week. So that was bad. I just didn't recover as well as I did, as fast as I did. I didn't hit the mileage I wanted to, but those are all secondary things to the primary goal of the week, which was to recover. And then big goal for next week is don't mess it up. At this point, nothing I do is going to make me better. The only thing I can do next week is do too much and mess things up and either get hurt or get sick or not feel great on race day. So big goal next week. Don't screw it up. Just do what I got to do. Okay. I got a couple easy runs scheduled. I got one little tune-up workout Again, nothing major. I'll probably be doing some strides throughout the week just to kind of get that neuromuscular legs turning over. And that's it. So, yay, penultimate week. We got the last one next week. We'll see what happens. All right, so until next time, hope everybody enjoyed. I'll talk to you later. Happy running.